Hello everybody and welcome to another week of Makers Monday. I am Anastasia Radloff, aka Stampin' Blondie, and I'm excited to be back with you today for another week of live step-by-step crafting. Now, because of the holiday that was last week, we didn't have a Makers Monday, so it's been 2 weeks since I've crafted with you, and I'm really looking forward to breaking down 3 projects with you today from some fun stuff from Celebration and the new January to April mini catalog. Now let me just make sure that I'm live here on Facebook. If you're watching on Facebook, make sure to comment, say hi, let me know where you're watching from. It's always fun to see where everybody is hopping on from this week. So let's see here. All right, I am live over on Facebook. So I'm also live over on YouTube as well. So if you're watching over on YouTube, make sure to comment. I'll see your comments here too. And thank you for watching. I hope you guys all had an amazing weekend. It is pretty chilly here in Tucson. I've got my short sleeve or my long sleeve hoodie on today. It was pretty chilly in my office at work, but I am excited to be in the warmth of my craft room. I had my little space heater going a little bit ago, but it is great to be back crafting with you here today. All right, so let's jump in. I have a couple of announcements to go over about upcoming class details, some that were just announced. So I'm looking forward to showing you some sneak peeks from those. But let's go ahead and swap the camera and we'll get started with our updates first. So don't forget, right now through the end of February is Celebration. Now, if you aren't too familiar with what Celebration is, this is Stampin' Up's biggest promotion of the year. It lasts for 2 months. And for every qualifying order, which starts at $50 prior to shipping and tax, you get to choose something out of the Celebration brochure for free. Now there is everything in here from stamp sets, designer series papers that even coordinate with some of our mini catalog offerings, ribbon embellishments, and some dies even as well. So Celebration is great because like I mentioned, some of these products do coordinate with items in our mini catalog, so you can kind of stretch your Stampin' dollars just a little bit longer there. Now, one of the items from my projects today is from Celebration, and it is the Flight and Airy Designer Series paper. So I'll be using that on my projects here today. Now, you can get this paper with a $50 order prior to shipping and tax. So you can choose anything from the catalog and you can add on this for free. So I love this designer series paper. I'll show you guys more in a little bit when we get to the projects, but this paper is beautiful. But the biggest thing about Celebration is kind of all the way back here in the back. Now, if your wish list is longer than $99 out of any of the catalogs, think about the Stampin' Up! Starter Kit. So with the Stampin' Up! Starter Kit, you get to choose $125 in your choice of product for $99 with no shipping, so free shipping. But you also during Celebration get to add on one or the other options that they have during Celebration. So option 1 is this really fun glass mat. I showed that in Makers Monday 2 weeks ago. So it's the Glass Mat Studio. You get a 17 by 14 glass mat. So it's a glass surface. You can use it for ink blending with our embossing paste as a great stamping surface as well. It easily wipes clean, so you don't have to worry about any kind of cleanup with that. It also comes with a silicone mat. You can kind of see it here where you can mix inks and paints and other items together, and a cleaning cloth. Or you can choose an additional $30 in product. So whatever option you choose, these are free to add on. So it's $125 worth of your choice of any products, plus an option 1 or 2 glass mat or extra free product, all for $99. Now, as the starter kit, you become a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. You do not have to teach classes, host events. You can be a happy shopper and purchase items for yourself at a 20% discount. There is no requirement to sell products, do Facebook Lives or anything like that. So if you are interested in learning more about the Stampin' Up! Starter Kit or anything, anything about Celebration, feel free to reach out to me and I can send you over details for anything at all. All right, next up, I think last time, this class, I had just announced this, maybe not, I'm not sure. My January card class to go. This is a card class to go that I work on with my best friend. We are the Bestie Stampers. And this January card class to go features the beautiful balloons, stamp set, and coordinating dies. Now the beautiful balloons, this is from our annual catalog. This is not in the mini catalog. It's actually the very first suite that you get to once you open up the catalog. So in this class, you get supplies to create 4 different cards, 2 each of those cards for a total of 8 projects, a full step-by-step tutorial, and here are my 2 projects that I'm bringing to this class. So she designs 2, I design 2, and then you get the full step-by-step PDF tutorial. So the link to learn more about January's card class to go is in the description of this video. There's a link. You can learn all about what is included in your class kit. The deadline to register for this is January 31st. So you have a little less than 10 days to register for this one. But bright, fun colors for this class. We've got Berry Burst, Bubble Bath, some Lemon Lime Twist in here. So very fun colors for our January card class to go, featuring the beautiful balloons stamp set. All right, next up we have February's card or Club Craft and Create. So I had not shown pictures of these cards yet because we didn't meet last week because of the holiday, but February is a Club Craft and Create. So what is the difference between Card Class to Go and Club Craft and Create? Club Craft and Create is kind of a Card Class to Go stepped up a little bit more. So Club Craft and Create includes either an in-person class or a recorded video, where Card Class to Go just has the PDF tutorial. Club Craft and Create does also have a PDF tutorial as well. So it's just kind of a higher level of class, I guess, because you get that added bonus of an in-person class or a recorded video. So this month we are going to be featuring a suite. It is the Perennial Lavender Suite. This is from the January to April mini catalog, and a suite combines 2 bundles together. So we will be focusing on the Painted Lavender bundle as well as the Perennial Postage. Now, as you can see, both of them are different because one has images only, one has sentiments only. So you can mix and match. You can add both of these on to your class kit. You can add one on and use your own sentiments. So however you want to customize your kit. Now, just a sneak peek of these projects I have here. So we've got a bunch of purple. So I sent out an email the other day. This is for those purple lovers. I know there's a bunch of you guys out there that love purples. So this is our card club for February. So deadline to register for this is February 8th. There's a link in the description of this video. And the in-person class is the 3rd Tuesday of every month, and then the recorded video is sent out that week as well. So February Club Craft and Create featuring the Perennial Lavender Suite. We have 2 bundles this month that we're working with. Beautiful designer series paper, all from the mini catalog. All right. One last thing, Prize Patrol. So this Thursday is my birthday, and so I wanted to do a really fun Prize Patrol for this week. But we have to announce last week's prize patrol first. So last week's prize, 2 weeks ago, the prize patrol winner. Oh gosh, you know what? Let me pull it up. I have it on my computer, but I forgot to write it on a little sticky note. So let me bring it up really quick, who the winner is. I forgot to write the little sticky on here. Okay, so the winner of Prize Patrol from 2 weeks ago was Paula Bringman. Congratulations, Paula. I don't have your address, so make sure to send me a message with your information so I can pop this in the mail for you. This is the Sunny Days Designer Series paper. This is from Celebration. Full package, 12 by 12 Designer Series paper. Beautiful. It coordinates with one of the bundles in the mini catalog. So very fun prize patrol. So congratulations to Paula. Let me just close this really quick so I can bring you guys back up. There we go. Now, because my birthday is coming this Thursday, I wanted to share my birthday with you. So I am giving away the Beautiful Balloons bundle. So this includes the full stamp set and the dies. This is a 2-for-1 prize patrol. So all you have to do is share this video, comment that you shared, and I will pull a winner next Monday during Makers Monday Facebook Live, and that winner will receive the Beautiful Balloons bundle. So quite a handful there to say. So I just want to say I am excited to share my birthday with you all this week, and Beautiful Balloons will be our prize patrol for this week's Makers Monday. So all you have to do is share the video and comment that you shared, and that's it. All right, let's jump into our projects for this week. Now, yesterday on Facebook and on my website, I shared this project featuring the Filled with Happiness stamp set from the mini catalog. So here is what the stamp set looks like. It is a set of 7 stamps of photopolymer, so you can see exactly where you're stamping. It is a really fun stamp set because you can bring these images to life with whatever coloring medium you prefer. Watercolor pencils, Stampin' Blends, Stampin' Write markers, whatever kind of coloring medium you prefer. This is a great stamp set for that. So Filled with Happiness stamp set from the mini catalog. I'll show you where it is there. It is on page 35, and it coordinates with the modern oval punch. Now, when I designed these projects, I did not realize that this punch is currently unavailable. And last I checked, it was unavailable until the end of April. So I apologize for that. If you don't have the punch, you can still easily make these projects. You can just cut out the little oval part, and if you get this week's Makers Monday class kit to go by placing an order on my website, I will even punch out the little pieces for you and include that in the class kit. So easy peasy for that. So Filled with Happiness, this is a great stamp set. Like I said, photopolymer. It's only $20 as well. I thought that was a good priced stamp set. A mix of images and sentiments to go along with each other. And then this is the project that I showed yesterday. It features the new cork rounds from the mini catalog, and I colored this in with watercolor pencils, but I did not watercolor it. I just colored in with the pencils like they were regular colored pencils. So kind of another way to stretch your supplies. Just because they're called watercolor pencils doesn't mean you have to use them just for watercoloring. You can also use them as regular pencils as well. So the 3 projects that I'm going to show you here today, here is one of them. I wanted to color this in. I know it looks like oranges, but the Designer Series paper is yellow. There's no orange in it, so I opted for them to look like lemons. So this one does have watercoloring on it, so we're going to do some watercoloring there. Here is another project here today. We're gonna show you this way to use the modern oval punch to just kind of get a different shape out of it. And then this one here featuring boho blue, a color I don't use very often, but it's in this really cute bird paper, so I wanted to work outside of my comfort zone. Now, all 3 projects today feature those cork rounds, which you can get for free with a $50 order using the host code that's on here, as well as the designer series paper. So you could get the class supplies for these 3 projects. They come all cut and ready for you to put together your projects. All you have to do is stamp, so you can choose the stamp set with your order. You can get the designer series paper for free and $50 order. I'll throw in a package of the cork rounds for free as well. All right, let's go ahead and get started. We're gonna work on our watercolor card first. So here is that one. We are featuring Flirty Flamingo for this one. Now, don't forget, on my website each week, stampinblondie.com, you can print out my free project PDF tutorial. It has all of the item names, numbers, and dimensions for the 3 projects that we're creating here today. Don't forget there's that back side. Now the items that are highlighted are the free with Celebration items. So that's why it's highlighted on there, so you can see what's free for Celebration. All right, so we have a piece of Flirty Flamingo cardstock. This is cut to 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. And I'm just gonna use our bone folder here to kind of crisp up our line and make sure our paper lies flat. Now we have a piece of basic white cardstock. This is 4 by 5 1/4, I think. Like I said, all the dimensions are on that PDF tutorial, so you don't have to memorize anything. And that's gonna go right in the middle of our card base. Next, that designer series paper. So here is one side of the Flight and Airy, really beautiful with these pink and blue flowers, but then the other side you have these bigger birds too. So you can fussy cut these out to use them on projects, but I really liked this floral side, so we're gonna use that on our project here today. And that's gonna go right there. Oh, did I cut this too big? Is this too big? Yes, it is too big. Let's cut that down really quick. I must not have trimmed this on the end. So this is, let's see, designer series paper, 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. So that's what I did. All right. So next we have another piece of basic white and another piece of Flirty Flamingo. So it looks like, let's see, continue, recover broadcast. Let's see what that does. I know it says I'm frozen here on Facebook. Let's see if I can continue. If I'm still going on Facebook, give me a thumbs up here. It says I tried to recover broadcast, so looks like I may still be going. Let's see what that did. Let me go to my Facebook page and refresh it. Like I said, it was frozen and then I hit a button to recover broadcast. So let's see if I'm still recovering. So if I'm live still on Facebook, give me a thumbs up. Let me know that I'm still good, or if I'm back. So I got some kind of thumbs up. So maybe, yes. Am I good? All right, we're just gonna keep going. So we have a piece of basic, it looks like I'm still good. So I think I'm still live here. So I have a piece of basic white cardstock and Flirty Flamingo. Flirty Flamingo is what we're gonna stamp our sentiment on. Now this is one giant stamp here, and it says, it's a good day to have a good day. And then you have the oranges / lemons, whatever you wanna make them, on the paper. So because we're gonna watercolor this, we're gonna use 2 different inks here. Now, if you have followed me for a while, you know that I have a kind of a saying called stinky versus non-stinky. Like, how do you know which ink to use when you're coloring with whatever medium you're using? StazOn black ink has a very distinctive smell to it. Now, I'm not condoning huffing craft supplies or anything like that. But when you open it, it does have a scent to it. that is when I say stinky. So here's your stinky ink. Your Memento Tuxedo Black Memento ink, no smell to it. There's no scent. So how do you remember which one to use when let's say watercoloring? So watercoloring, stinky versus non-stinky, watercolor pencils have no scent to them. They're just a regular colored pencil basically. So no scent, you want to pair that with stinky ink. So StazOn black ink with watercolor pencils. If you are coloring with Stampin' Blends, they are alcohol-based markers. They do have a scent to them. Again, not condoning you smelling your craft supplies, but they have a scent to them. So you would want to use Tuxedo Black ink because it has no scent. So stinky markers, no scent ink, stinky ink, no scent watercolor pencils. So that's how I remember how to use which ink for which whatever color medium you choose. So because we're going to do some watercoloring, we're gonna do stinky ink with non-stinky craft supplies. So I hope that helps you guys. I don't know if you've ever heard that before. Now also your StazOn has this little cover, so you just want to kind of move that off to the side. Now with StazOn, you don't want to use it on photopolymer stamps a lot. Now I just use it really quick and clean it off so it's good, but you don't want to leave it on your stamps after you're done using it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna stamp or ink up our stamp first, and it's a larger stamp, so I'm gonna hold it while I ink it up here. And get that on there. And we're gonna stamp this right in the middle of our piece of Flirty Flamingo. I'm just gonna push that down really, really well to make sure it's all inked up because it's a larger stamp. There we go. That's okay. So we're gonna cover this middle part. It didn't get all the way on there, so that's fine. But we're gonna stamp a piece of watercolor paper now with the same ink. And this is the one that we really want to make sure it gets a good image on. So I am gonna pull out my foam pad. I have this, it's a thick foam pad, and so I'm gonna stamp on that. That should help with ink coverage a little bit. So we're gonna do the same thing. Ink this up really, really well. Get all the way on there. Hi, Shar. Hi, Tanya. All right, we're gonna do this. This is the watercolor paper, like I said. So we're just gonna stamp this on here, make sure it gets really good coverage, and then lift. See, much better this time. All right, clean off our StazOn first before we move on. So I put that little cover back on. When you work with StazOn, you want StazOn Cleaner. This will help get that ink off. Now, just like the name, it really stays on everything. So you can stamp this on glass, you can stamp it on plastic, wood. It is really like the creme de la creme of inks. So I'm gonna kind of put that off to the side and just let that sit on there until I'm ready. All right, we have our stamped image. We're gonna color this in with watercolor pencils. Now Stampin' Up! Offers two different kinds of watercolor pencils. Now this is the old packaging. This is what they look like now. This is watercolor assortment number 1, watercolor assortment number 2. Watercolor assortment number 2 has 10 pencils and number 1 has 13. So just they're different colors in both, but we're gonna use watercolor assortment number 1. So our lemon are gonna take shape here, and I'm just quick coloring these in because we're gonna do a watercolor wash on these. They don't have to be perfect. The watercolor will kind of spread the color around. So that was Daffodil Delight. We're also going to use Garden Green, or sorry, Old Olive in this one. And I'm just quickly coloring in the leaves. see here. I haven't used these watercolor pencils in a while, so when I saw this stamp set and I knew I wanted to use it for Makers Monday, kind of wanted to show you guys the watercolor technique with it. It's very easy, great for all skill levels, and you really don't have to be a super artist to put this together. All right, the last one is gonna be Melon Mambo. Even though our paper is Fleur de Flamingo, we could use the Fleur de Flamingo pencil from Watercolor Assortment 2. I'm just gonna keep it simple and use all one set of watercolor pencils. But I'm just gonna lightly color that in. Oh, I forgot one leaf here. Just to bring, yes, there we go. And we're just going to lightly color that in. Easy peasy. All right, clean that up. Move these off to the side. So for the watercolor part, Stampin' Up! Has something called water painters. They come 3 in a set and they have 3 different brush sizes. Now I'm gonna be using, this is kind of the medium-sized watercolor pencil or water painter that we have. And I'm just going to, I don't wanna squeeze too hard because this has got a lot of water in it, but I just wanna squeeze enough to kind of get this wet here some. There we go. And I'm just going to swirl it around, and it helps blend those colored pencil lines together. Now, when you switch colors, you just want to take a scrap piece of paper. Now, this is what I'm going to put this on, but I'm going to color on this and we'll glue that there. So we're just going to do that. Color in our leaves, and it's very easy once you have it colored in. And then our last color right there. So there is our colored watercolor. Now, depending on how heavy of a hand you have with the water, it may take a few seconds to dry. I made sure that mine wasn't very wet. Plus, here in Arizona, I mean, things dry in an instant. So I didn't have to wait for anything to dry here, but we're just gonna take our oval punch and we're gonna punch out the image. There we go. And you could even use this part for another thing. If you wanted to kind of do the reverse on there, you could do that. But we're gonna use this part and our watercolor scrap pad that we just used. We're gonna add this to our basic white. Hello, Carol. Hopefully you guys aren't too cold up there in Minnesota. All right, and our dimensionals. We're gonna add some dimensionals to the back of the stamped oval piece, and that's gonna go right over the middle of our sentiment there. So you kind of have that extra layered look. Now the back, that's gonna go with our stamp and seal, and this is gonna go right onto the middle of our card. Now as a final touch, I came in with the cork rounds. If I could just find where I put them. Let's see, cork rounds, where are you? There they are, hiding behind our other samples. And we're gonna add 3 of the small cork rounds to the lower right part of the card here. And this is our first project here today, featuring the Filled with Happiness stamp set. So a great card layout for beginner stampers. If you are wanting to take it a little step further, you can do the watercoloring, but that is our first project. I hope you guys liked this one. Very fun with that designer series paper on there as well. That's free from Celebration. All right, our next project is going to be this one right here. So we have Lost Lagoon and that beautiful bird paper. It's watercolored as well. And I'm going to show you a fun technique with that modern oval punch to kind of get that background look there. So, hi Janice, hello Polly. We've got North Carolina and Georgia watching. Now, I saw somebody earlier say, let me see if I can scroll up. Carol Schaefer, hello from Connecticut. Carol, how far away are you, Connecticut, from Newport, Rhode Island? I think you're still watching, so let me know how far you are from Newport, Rhode Island, because this summer, I just found out, right after, actually, after Makers Monday 2 weeks ago, I found out my husband and I are moving to Newport, Rhode Island this summer. He got accepted to attend the Naval Warfare College there. He's in the Air Force, if you aren't familiar. But it is a kind of a big deal for him to attend a cross-service school. So we will be moving this summer. Very sad to leave Arizona. I've lived here for 8 years. But I get to be by the beach again. So I grew up in Florida, so I go to the beach a lot, and I'm excited to be back by the beach. So Carol, if you're still watching, let me know how far away you are from Connecticut to Rhode Island. So that should be fun. All right, so before I glued anything down here, I took the strips of Designer Series paper and I just laid them out across my cardstock. This is Lost Lagoon cardstock. I didn't want to glue anything down just yet because I wanted to make sure that my spacing is everywhere exactly where I wanted it. If you kind of glue stuff down, then you don't really have time to move it around if your spacing is not right. So what I did is I laid it all out, and then I'm just going to take one piece at a time, and I'm going to use my multi-purpose liquid glue, and I'm going to add that to my card base and make sure that it kind of stays exactly where I need it. So I'm using the liquid glue this time because it gives me a few seconds to kind of move my stuff around and get it exactly where I want it. With Stamp and Seal, the tape adhesive, you don't really have that kind of shift that you can with the liquid glue. So this is a brand new tube of liquid glue. I just opened it right before I went live, so I have to remember not to squeeze too hard or I'll have liquid glue all over my project. So just a gentle squeeze, and we've got all of our strips of Designer Series paper down. So there we go. Yes, Courtney, it was super exciting news. Like, I will tell you, I'm going to be very, very, very sad to leave Tucson. Like I said, we've been here 8 years, so it is definitely like a second home. First place I've bought a house and had a house, so it's going to be sad. I'm going to miss my craft room and, of course, all my crafting friends, but if I hate Rhode Island, it's only for a year, so we're only going to live there for a year before we move somewhere else with the military. So if I hate it, then it's only for a year, but I'm having a positive outlook to be able to be closer to the beach for that. Peggy, you asked what the dimensions of the strips were. They are, let's see, they are 3/4 by 5 1/4. So don't forget, all of the dimensions are on that free PDF tutorial you can print from my website. But they're 3/4 by 5 1/4. All right, because we're not going to watercolor this one, we're just using our regular Tuxedo black ink and our Daffodil Delight watercolor pencil. If I was going to watercolor this, I would need to use StazOn ink, but we're just going to use this like a regular colored pencil and just color these in. And I thought this was fun to kind of get that like sunburst to have a little pop of color and stand out. So it says, "You're wonderful, just a note, I appreciate you." And we're going to punch that out with the modern oval punch. Now on the card, you can see there's this little peek back here of Daffodil Delight cardstock. So what we're gonna do for that is we're gonna punch out another oval from the yellow cardstock and put that over there. What we're gonna do is we're gonna cut it straight in half. So just with your scissors, and you can do this with any kind of shaped punch that you want to have that kind of background look. And we're just gonna take that half and add a little strip of glue, and it kind of stretches the punch out just a little bit further. Now with the liquid glue, you can move it around and get it right where you want it. And then you do the same thing on the other side. And it just has that quick pop, and nobody's gonna see the back, so it doesn't matter what the back looks like. So there is that fun little bit there. There's the back side. You can't even see it, so it doesn't matter. And make sure that's straight on there. I can either not cut straight or my paper's not straight. I'm gonna blame it on the paper, say it's not straight. And on the back of this, we're gonna add some Stampin' Dimensionals. I mean, every time I cut, it's perfectly straight. There's never any crooked lines. Perfect cuts every time. I'm gonna blame it on the paper. And that's gonna go on to our card with those dimensionals right here. And then I am gonna add 3 of the small cork rounds, and we're gonna put those around that punched out piece. So we've got our 2 there and our last one down here in the corner. And there is our second project today, featuring the Filled with Happiness stamp set. Hope you guys like this one. I love the strips. So a heads up about this card, if you have a lot of pattern paper that you want to get rid of and you need a great layout, these strips are perfect. It uses a good amount of leftover scraps that you may have. It's quick, it's simple. You can cut them while watching TV, assemble this while watching TV, and it's very easy to just kind of pump out a bunch of cards with that strips of pattern paper if you need to get rid of them. So there's our second project today. I hope you guys like that one. All right, our last one here features that boho blue color. Like I said, don't really tend to use this too much. It kind of reminds me of like a cornflower blue, which really isn't my favorite, but I wanted to bring out the blue from the birds in that designer series paper. So definitely wanted to, you know, it's always fun to kind of do something different and work in colors that you're not super fond of, but still it makes a great color layout paired with Bubble Bath. Now this Bubble Bath cardstock, it kind of has a color palette of its own. When it's paired with, let me grab some paper and show you guys. So when it's paired with like Flirty Flamingo, it looks pink. So it has those pink tones to it, and it looks really, really pink, like almost like a baby pink kind of when it's paired with Flirty Flamingo. But when you pair it with a blue, it has more of a purple tone to it. So this color is great because it can go between your blues to be like a purpley color. It can be more of a pink baby color. So here you can see it really just takes on more of a pink tone over here and a purple tone over here. So it's very versatile, which I like. But for this card, it's gonna look more of a purpley tone with the boho blue. So our card is 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. And we have a piece of that Bubble Bath cardstock and the designer series paper, Flight and Airy from Celebration. Here's the back side. It does have that purpley tone to it, but I really liked the birds, the watercolor bird side. So we're gonna add this to our strip of Bubble Bath cardstock. And we'll put that right in the middle there. And then this will go down to our card base. There we go. Sticking to my fingers. There. All right. Now we have another piece of Bubble Bath cardstock and boho blue. So we're going to stamp our sentiment on the boho blue, just kind of like that first card. This one says, happy birthday, may it be filled with happiness. And it has that bird in the middle, which again kind of goes with our designer series paper. Now I am going to stamp this one in tuxedo and use our watercolor pencils as colored pencils. So no need to get out the StazOn for this one. We're just going to use regular tuxedo black ink for this. Okay, looks like it's good. And I'm gonna bring back in that foam mat. This is the Stampin' Pierce mat, but I find that if you stamp on it, it helps with these bigger images just a little bit better. So we will stick that here and make sure we get the pressure on all of our stamp. Peel that off. And then I also have some basic white cardstock. Where did it go? Here. Just a scrap piece of basic white, and we're going to do the exact same thing on this. So we're just going to ink it up one more time. I'm glad you like the card, Courtney. It's very fun. And Shar said this is her favorite paper, so I'm glad I'm able to make some projects for you with this one. All right. So stamped twice, and there we go. And we can put this away and that away too. So we're going to color our bird. So on the new packages of our watercolor pencils, it says, this is old because it says Pacific Point, and we don't even have Pacific Point as a color anymore. It's been retired, but the new packages says blue. It's still the same Pacific Point. It's just redesigned because we no longer have that color. So I kind of went online to see the color scheme of a bluebird. I wanted to make sure I was, coloring in the right areas, the right colors. I know their chest is kind of a different color, so I did that one in Flirty Flamingo, and I'm going to pull out that Flirty Flamingo pencil for this one. So if you wanted to, you could step this up with the watercoloring option to kind of soften those colored pencil lines, but I wanted to just do this one in pencil to show the versatility of these, and they're not just for watercoloring. All right, our Old Olive for our leaves here, and I'm just rough coloring these in. It doesn't have to be perfect in the lines either. Especially if you're doing the watercoloring, you don't even have to fill the whole thing in with pencil. The water will kind of help spread that ink around to get it exactly where you need it. Right, and then the last bit, I'm going to use Daffodil Delight on these the flowers, and I'm just coloring the whole thing over in just a light color. So there is our colored in bird. So really depending on how you color these in, whatever medium you choose, if you were to use like Stampin' Blends, the image is going to be much bolder and brighter. The watercolor pencils gives you a softer look. So whatever your preferred medium is for coloring these in is going to give you a different look each time too. All right, so we're just going to punch that out with the Modern Oval Punch. And we're going to add dimensionals to the back of this, but first we want to glue this down to the Bubble Bath cardstock. And then we're going to add that to the card base. I find when I'm going to add something with dimensionals, it's easier to adhere it when it's all flat and then add the last dimensional piece to it. So right in the middle, and then our birds here with our dimensionals. And, oh, they're sticking to my fingers. That's gonna go right in the middle there. And the final bit, we're gonna come in with our cork rounds, and I'm gonna use 3 of the large cork rounds on this one. And these cork rounds are fun. You can color them with Stampin' Blend, Stampin' Bright markers, so you can kind of give them different toned colors if you don't just want the cork. But there is our last project here today, featuring the Filled with Happiness stamp set and the Modern Oval Punch. Courtney said blender pens could soften the pencil lines, right? Yes. So I actually have a blender pen right here. Let me grab it. It is right here. So if you aren't familiar with what this is a blender pen. It comes with 2 I guess nubs on either side. It is meant to kind of blend those soft lines together too, and it's not watercolor. So you could use this regular paper. So all you do is just kind of blend it, and you can see it's already kind of changing. I totally forgot about the blender pen. Thank you, Courtney. I haven't used a blender pen in forever. But it just kind of gets rid of those colored lines. And the best part is that you can use this over and over. Just like our water painters, all you have to do is kind of wipe it off to get the little color bits off. And then you can move on to the next color and blend it on there too. So very easy. This is the blender pen. Again, I haven't used that in forever, so thank you for reminding me of that. But that's our last project here today for our Makers Monday. So let's bring in all 3 projects, and you can let me know which one is your favorite this week. We have our Flirty Flamingo, we have our Lost Lagoon, and our last project here today, our Boho Bluebird. So let me know in the comments, which one do you like the most here today? I have to say, I really like this Lost Lagoon. It's a very simple project. Very great way to get rid of some of those scraps that you may have on hand. And it's great for all skill levels, no matter if you are a beginner all the way to an advanced crafter. So let me know which one is your favorite here today. All right, well, thank you everybody for joining me for this week's Makers Monday. I look forward to crafting again with you next week. Don't forget this week's Prize Patrol. This week's Prize Patrol, you can enter in to win the Beautiful Balloons bundle because of my birthday this coming Thursday. I hope you